So I'm a little bit late to reporting all of these massive fight announcements, but I thought I'd cover this just because this is a very good fight for me. If you guys don't know, Dustin Poirier is one of my favorite fighters, and unfortunately, he's looking to retire soon. And he just announced this fight on the Pat McAfee show where he will be fighting Max Holloway at UFC 318 in Louisiana at for the BMF belt. And before I give any of my, I guess, overall feelings about this fight, let me just play this clip from the Pat McAfee show here.
On. I think you have a massive announcement to make as well with the city of New Orleans and yourself, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're coming back to New Orleans. The UFC's coming back to New Orleans in July 19th. It's going to be my final fight. I'm going to lay the gloves down in Louisiana where it all started for me. The whole journey started there, and I'm just honored to have the UFC on the same page and the state of Louisiana on the same page to make all this work. I didn't know if it was going to all come together, but it did. July 19th. Me and Max Holloway are going to fight 5 rounds, main event, pay-per-view for his current BMF title. And you know,
hell yeah.
Max is a legend. I said legends only. There's not a better guy I can think to fight in my retirement fight. I was his first fight in the UFC back in 2012, and he's going to be my last fight in the UFC. So it's an honor. He's a legend, former champion, undisputed, current BMF champion. So we're going to put on another war.
Now, I know a lot of people are complaining about the fact that this is for the BMF belt and the fact that this is headlining pay-per-view. Listen, could there have been a better main event? Yes, but I'm really happy for Dustin Poirier for this because the UFC really went out of their way to go to Louisiana on this one. The UFC never goes to Louisiana, and Dustin Poirier, knowing that he's from Louisiana, knowing that what he's did for the sport, and just for that, I guess, state alone, the UFC really decided to go to Louisiana in order to commemorate Dustin Poirier's legacy and have him headline UFC 318, despite there not being an undisputed title. Overall, I'm really happy for Dustin Poirier. I'm kind of sad for this because again, he's one of my favorite fighters ever. Like I just really love the way he fights, his story about uh how he grew up in the tough streets of Louisiana, getting picked on and all that shit, and that's where he started MMA. I don't know. It's not gonna be the same without Dustin Poirier in the UFC. And listen, we could have had a better matchup than Max Holloway, but I'm honestly glad, considering where both of these guys are at in their careers. Like Max Holloway, don't get me wrong, he's probably still eyeing for a belt potentially, but he is a little bit far away from that. Like I know some people are suggesting the Justin Gaethje trilogy, but Justin Gaethje, I don't think he's gonna win the belt, but Justin Gaethje's still eyeing for the title. Meanwhile, uh, Poirier, he is, as you heard in the Pat McAfee show, looking to retire after this fight, regardless of the result. And Max Holloway, again, BMF champion, former champion, a legend. He is still looking to get a title in the near future, but he is a little bit far away from that now that he got knocked out by Ilya Topuria. I we could have had a better main event, but I think this is great. Hats off to Dustin Poirier. What a legendary career he's had. And I'm just gonna appreciate this fight for what it is, which is just to kind of commemorate their legends. The UFC rarely does stuff like this, and the fact that they did this for Poirier, kind of, I wish I could shed a tear right now, but it's I don't know, it's not falling out right now. But as for the matchup itself, it is tough to say. Like I know Poirier technically has Max Holloway's number. Like Poirier's 2-0 against him, but I don't really consider those fights to be that much of a factor because those fights happened long time ago. Especially the first one where like they were just kind of in their baby forms where they just kind of almost made their debut or just like making their debut in Max Holloway's situation. But now they're kind of it kind of comes back full circle because Poirier was Max Holloway's first opponent, and now Max Holloway is Dustin Poirier's last opponent in the UFC. I think there's something poetic to that, but yeah, I don't really consider the first two fights to be that much of a factor. As much as I do love Poirier, I am very worried for him. There is a chance that Max Holloway just sleeps him. Like against Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway looked very good. Like completely schooled Justin Gaethje. And I know that MMA math doesn't necessarily work all the time. Where like just because Justin Gaethje knocked out Poirier and then Max Holloway schooled Justin Gaethje for 5 rounds straight doesn't mean that Max Holloway is gonna do the same to Poirier. But again, Holloway looked really good against Gaethje. He looked crisp as fuck. He looked fast. I do think Poirier has the power advantage, but Max Holloway, I think he's very crafty. He's improved a lot since their second fight, which was like 6 years ago. Crazy to say. And I don't know, like okay, that fight with their second fight, I believe it was on short notice for Holloway, and Holloway kind of just broke Max to lightweight. Whereas now Max Holloway, he's kind of fully developed into his lightweight body. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be a much tougher fight than the second fight. And if it's gonna be a much tougher fight than the second fight, which Poirier kind of edged out 3 rounds to 2, then I will say this: I think Holloway. I think it's gonna be very hard for Poirier to beat Holloway. I'm still gonna be rooting for Poirier regardless because again, he's one of my favorite fighters, and I it's I will probably make a more concrete prediction about this later. I just think it's gonna be very hard. I think Max Holloway, he's developed a lot better footwork over the 6 years they spent fighting other opponents, and I think Holloway's a lot technically better, you could say. Like I know Poirier, he's very fundamentally good at boxing as well, but I think Holloway's just faster. Uh, His straight punches, I believe, are faster as well. I think Holloway he knows how to move around better. Like you got to consider Poirier is 35 years old and he's had hip surgery since his fight with Holloway. So I don't know if Poirier is gonna look all that crisp, especially right now because he is looking to retire. But again, I'm gonna be rooting for Poirier regardless. I'll give you guys a more concrete prediction. But for now, I'm gonna move on to this next fight, which is Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. This was announced for UFC Atlanta June 14th by Dana White on IG. Uh, Dana White can announce this fight, but not a fight for International Fight Week, which is very interesting. I still like this fight though. I really do. I really do. It's been a while since Kamaru Usman's been in the octagon, and I think this is an appropriate matchup. Is seeing the landscape of the division right now. You have Kamaru Usman. He's on a 3 fight skid. He hasn't fought since like October of 2023. And Joaquin Buckley over here, he's on a massive tear through the division. And I know there's a lot of Usman fans out there that are like, "Oh, he didn't look that bad against Kamaru Usman, or I'm sorry, Hamza Chimaev or anything like that." I just think Kamaru Usman's done. I think Joaquin Buckley, style wise, has all the tools to beat Kamaru Usman. Like Joaquin Buckley, he has great cardio, which Kamaru Usman, if you guys don't know, that's how he mostly won his fights by breaking opponents. Uh, he's strong. He's a lot better boxing wise than Kamaru Usman. I know people gas up Kamaru Usman's like piston like jabs and shit. But outside of that, I don't really see Kamaru Usman doing all that much. Whereas Joaquin Buckley, he'll mix it up to the body. He'll throw in multiple piece combinations. He can throw kicks. He can destroy Usman's kneecaps. I just think Joaquin Buckley's time has come where oh, I'm sorry. I would just think that Kamaru Usman's time has come, whereas Joaquin Buckley is starting to make a name for himself. You know, the young perpetually eat the old. Can Kamaru Usman win this? Like again, he made Khamzat Chimaev look mid, and that's impressive in my opinion because that was when Hamza Chimaev was like, "Oh, he's the boogeyman of the division. He's gonna destroy everybody." But I just think Kamaru Usman. I think the kneecaps are incredibly cooked now. I know Usman's always had cooked kneecaps, but I think they're incredibly cooked now, and I just think his prime is gone. So I'm gonna go with Joaquin Buckley. I will study more tape on both of these guys when the time comes, but I'm gonna go with Joaquin Buckley for now. I think that's more of a definitive pick than the Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway fight because Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, there are arguments for both sides, whereas I think there's a stronger argument for Joaquin Buckley because Joaquin Buckley is in his prime. Last but not least, I want to go over the promotion Joaquin Buckley has done because I just really like it. This certainly beats what the UFC has done for most of their fighters, and I'm just gonna let this play first and then give you guys my overall assessment.
Then on top of that, you add the wrestling and then just the physicality he imposes both behind his striking and his grappling. I think this guy is a huge problem at 170 pounds. And again, I am confident to say that he will fight for a UFC belt. I don't discard the idea of Joaquin Buckley being UFC champion.
His way to a TKO. Yu Mansa is on the radar at welterweight. Yu Mansa takes the judges right out of it. Wow! Doctor stoppage, but Joaquin Buckley dominant against Colby Covington. Welcome to the big time, Yu Mansa.
Yeah, great promotional piece by Joaquin Buckley. I'll be honest, I wasn't a Joaquin Buckley fan at first because I don't know, he just kind of rubbed me the wrong way at first, like when he called out Conor McGregor during his Ruzi Boya fight, and like all, and the fact that I don't know, he sounded very annoying at first, but as I got used to Joaquin Buckley, I'm starting to like him a lot more. Uh, he talks a lot of trash, which I always appreciate. Right. He knows how to promote a fight, even the fights that don't always fall through, like the Buck versus the Cuck. I still hope that fight happens in the near future. And Joaquin Buckley overall, I think he's a very good fighter. Like there were times at first where he just looked really mid at middleweight, which is why I didn't think he would go that far. But since he's dropped to welterweight, he's been on a tear. Well, fair enough. He's mostly been fighting like fighters past their prime, but Usman falls in that category, first of all. And second of all, it's kind of what happens. Like, okay, like if you're gonna get a champion like Usman who's just fighting the same people over and over again, and there isn't really much that change in the guard. That's what happens. Joaquin Buckley, he's gonna fight a lot of these old past their prime legends who I'm not gonna say they're washed, but they're just not in their prime. And I think Usman falls into that category. I think that gives Joaquin Buckley a massive advantage. And plus, Joaquin Buckley, he's been improving every fight. It's not just that I'm picking him just because he's younger. Joaquin Buckley is adding new things into his game. Like against Colby Covington, he added a new piece to the game which was the sidekick. Like I've never seen Joaquin Buckley really do that. Joaquin Buckley doesn't really throw sidekicks in his previous fights, but he started adding that after his fight with Covington, and I think that's gonna do dividends in his fight with Kamaru Usman, or Buckley's gonna add something new for Kamaru Usman. Like, keep in mind, Buckley is young. He's like 30 or 31 years old, whereas Kamaru Usman, he's like 37. Kamaru Usman isn't exactly in a position where he can improve on his game right now, especially due to all of the injuries he's sustained throughout his career. Whereas Joaquin Buckley, he's looking for a title shot, he's in his prime, and he's hungry. He is hungry to make a name for himself. So I'm gonna go with Joaquin Buckley for this. And as for this fight, I'm going to be rooting for Poirier, but I can I lean Max Holloway for some reason. I mean, just because of his impressive performance against Justin Gaethje. Now, fair enough, could Poirier knock him out because Poirier kind of softened up Max Holloway's chin? Sure. But again, Max Holloway, he's always been known as this durable chin guy. I don't think one KO is really gonna change him. Like, if he gets KO'd again by Poirier, then yeah, maybe I'll start considering that. But I don't know. I'm leaning Holloway again. I'm rooting for Poirier with all my heart, but I'm slightly leaning Holloway. Who knows? I will make more concrete analysis once the fight comes. But yeah, I'm really excited for these fights, and I'm just happy for Poirier and Joaquin Buckley. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about these fights. Do you like him? Do you hate him? Do you wish there was some other main event for UFC 318? Let me know all in the comments down below. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.